Okay, welcome back everyone. We are live today sitting down with Michael Tama. We had a crazy week in the market. We look forward to discussing that for sure and kind of talking about how to make money when the market is really volatile and crashing, how you can really benefit from it. We often talk about the fact that it's a good time for traders, a bad time for investors. Michael, how was the week for you? I know you were in Japan, you were traveling. Tell me how the trading week went for you.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a great trip and throw in some volatility, some tech issues. It was great. So nice little trip to Vietnam, little work, throw a little extra things in Tokyo, and worked out really well. So it's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
How do you actually make money when the market is crashing? Because a lot of people in the beginning of the week were like afraid. They didn't want to. They didn't want to be in the market. People sold off really quickly, and maybe you get stepped out like one or two times first. How do you actually go back and make money with that kind of market condition that we had last week?
Yeah, well, thanks. I think the key to the whole thing, one of the words, the themes, is adjustment. You have to say, okay, how am I going to adjust my trading plan? It's not just about where I enter or where your strategy is. How am I going to adjust to absorb this risk reward? Because there is additional reward here, but there also comes with additional risk. So making those adjustments, whether size, those are kind of the key points.
A lot of people were like scared that the market would crash and it would go down like forever. Then it would be like a whole recession. Then just like the next day it went back up straight. Do you go into a trending mode, or do you go like more mean reversion, or like what's your thought process for kind of knowing what if it's going to continue or not in the market?
I tend to be a little more trend based because you want to take care of that home run. So my sort of stops to break even are going to be much more aggressive and sort of just let it go and see what happens. I'll take advantage. Those are where the home runs are going to come. You want to put yourself in a position where you do have an opportunity for a home run in these markets. Stop these 20 pip type targets. They don't work as well in these markets, and you're limiting yourself for the ultimate home run, which can make or break your year. These are great markets, but understand the risk comes with them. But if you can get to a stop to break even, you're just looking for that one or two pops per month, and then you're good.
Tell me about the guys who were in prop firm challenges. Of course, it might not like, completely be blown out from the account, but you might kind of lose confidence a little bit. How do you get that back until you are able to keep the account?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a good point. You know, you have to kind of not just look at your strategy per se and say, I'm going to execute my strategy, but what is your overall plan? And this is why we preach, sometimes like two old ladies, Etienne, like, you got to have that plan. You got to have that plan because it's not just about your strategy. How do I absorb these things? And one of the options in your plan is to, avoid these markets, take a break sometimes. If it doesn't meet your risk tolerance, just accept it from there and move on. There's plenty of things to do. Let the market come to you, but more importantly, you know, understand that these are very, very risky things, and we want you to be here tomorrow. And if you're not going to be here, it doesn't matter what we're going to talk about today. So, understand that and use some of the techniques we'll probably talk about and how to keep you solvent in the game.
Do you look at the news when it comes to market crashes? Because I feel like the news can overreact very easily. Like they'll say, "Oh, it's like the recession will start. It's gonna go down forever. It's gonna be really bad." But then the next day, like I said, it goes back up. Do you pay attention to like CNBC or these websites, or should you just focus on the movement and kind of capturing the charts as you see it?
Yeah, I mean, I try to avoid any type of news noise or anything like that. In fact, I try to be chartless in the sense I'm looking really for price action. Moving averages don't work well in volatile markets because there's a lot of human emotion. So I'm really more focused on taking advantage of the human emotion part as opposed to just your sort of technical analysis, cookie cutter type of strategies. Tell you, I had a couple good plane trades, chartless plane trades going from Ho Chi Minh to Tokyo. I'll do another video on that actually. If some worked that well, first of all, if you get a chance, go to Tokyo, favorite place. Vietnam, another great place, great food, great people. A lot of party. But yeah, but I find to just you can't be having charts with you all the time. So I kind of use like looking for Darvis box type opportunities where you're just basically looking for price action to break certain areas and just take advantage of those. And I'm actually going to do another video on it because there are a couple cool trades I had on it. So we'll show you how to do that. But the key is here: keep it small, keep it light, and let it flow and have that opportunity to go for the home run. That's really what high volatility markets are doing. That's really what you want to take advantage of.
How do you handle or cope with big losses?
Simple. All right. This is really about the risk management process, and really dealing with that is avoidance. Avoid the big losses. So how do you do that? All right. obviously their stop's got to be placed in a reasonable place. But there's another way, and they don't talk about. Keep size small so you won't have big losses. All right, it's kind of simple. I mean, I'm down to 1 or 2 contracts sometimes in these markets. So rather than say where do I place my stop, keep the size lower, and you'll heal it that way.
Anyone who had a good week, comment below. Let us know if you had a good week or maybe a bad week too. Curious to hear if that's the case too. What's your thought process, Michael, for now we had like a crash, we went back up. What do you think the market will do from here? Is it going to go back up straight, or is it going to kind of be sideways for a while, not sure where to go, or what do you think is coming next?
Yeah, actually, here's my sort of how's this for an answer? I have no clue. and as traders, my point is, as traders, we don't have to have a clue. Like, I'm poor in direction. I mean, I'm tops 50-50. So if all I want to know is if the volatility is going to be there, I want to take advantage of it, maybe a little bit of increased risk, but that's it. Don't start trying to pick direction per se, because to me, that's where I fail. So, fine for panic, fine for things like that, and just take advantage of it when that happens. But as far as where the market's going to be heading, be honest with you, the volatility index, when it reaches over 60 and reverts, there is literally a 90% chance that in the next month it will be higher. So I'm going to go with that math and start to nibble, but again, very selectively and very low volume, very slow, low size. Danny brings up a very interesting point, and this is, I appreciate the clarification. All right, the first thing you have to do is recognize and lower size. Don't try to make up those losses. We have a graveyard of good traders, solid traders that just never made it because they tried to make their loss. The most valuable thing when you have a big loss is learn from it. And it happens to all of us. Etienne and I happens also, a lot. Move on, lower size, and then slowly get it back. Do not try to make up that loss. You're done. You will eventually, the market will crush you.
Definitely a good point. And also, I go back to, I think, what works. Like sometimes there are strategies or setup you like more that works better, and you can go back to those and focus on those instead of like trying something out, or like trying to switch strategy or like jump to something else. Just stick to what works, and that can make it easier to go back on track.